If you know me, you know that I'm a MacGyver fan, so I'm going to show you my newest Swiss tool. This is the SwissCard Lite. So it's a multifunction card. The idea is that it's small enough to fit in your wallet. So I'm going to show you, oh, well, it's not supposed to do that. The reason that it did that, instead of actually staying in the slot, is that this, even though it looks like a Swiss card, is actually a Chinese copy that I received from Amazon. I ordered it through another seller, tried to save a few bucks, and ended up with a piece of junk. So I'm going to show you the differences between this Swiss card, or I'll call that the Chinese card, and this one, that is a true Victorinox SwissCard Lite. The same model that they were trying to copy here. So since this fell out, I'm going to start with this as a comparison. On a true Victorinox, it's kind of hard to read with the camera here, but on a true Victorinox it is stamped with the logo and the text Victorinox. Alright, and actually I've just noticed that the Victorinox is magnetic. The other one is not, because as I touch them together, they sort of stick. So, there we go. And this one obviously does not fit in there well enough to stay. This one does. I'm going to put that tool up there. Alright, looking at the case, you can notice that there's a huge difference in the size of the magnifying glass. And the fact that the Swiss tool magnifying glass actually sort of works. If I switch to the Chinese tool, I mean, it looks like a kaleidoscope here. I can't actually get it to focus or help on anything. So the quality of the glass is horrendous and tiny. Alright, well, this is a Swiss Army knife, so let's start with the knife. Pull these out. They actually both open about the same there. Alright. Now remember, the dark blue one is the actual Swiss tool. There's a little bit of sparkle in it. This is funny. I just know, and this one actually has a section, or has a little piece here, so you can hook it. Well, I guess, I don't know. We'll call that the hilt, and the blade is here. This one, the blade is actually on this side, and it is dull. I can't really do anything on it. I could hack at my finger all day, and it's not going to do anything. Also, if you look very carefully, there's something slightly different about this one. I think it's the rounding on this edge here of the logo. Okay, now if I grab something white here, there you go. You can also see the way that they attached it to the plastic. The molded plastic here, they actually, on the top one, they molded the plastic around the metal. And it looks like with the bottom one, they just kind of jammed it in there, jammed the shank of the blade into the slot. So for the knives, definitely the real Swiss tool wins. It is much sharper. Put those up here. Alright, next, let's go to the pen. Now actually a pen is something that's pretty hard to mess up. So between these two, the fake, or the Chinese card is actually slightly shorter than the Victorinox. Now I guess that doesn't matter that much, but if you were to go to buy replacement parts, you would find out this one is too long to fit in the cheap Chinese Swiss card. They both seem to write. I'm not going to demonstrate that here. Alright, next. The stainless steel pen. I actually use this a lot. I use this tool a lot to reboot things or to get a splinter out or whatever, so it's nice to have. This one actually, this stays in there very well. There's no way this is falling out of there. But there's my nice straight pen there. And over here on the Chinese card, I've already bent it, you can see, because it's just not the same quality of metal as the one in the Swiss tool. Alright, tweezers. So I pull the tweezers out. There we go. Gray plastic tweezers. Okay. And I mean, again, it's kind of hard to mess up tweezers, but they're just a little. Well, actually, the ones in the Chinese SwissCard seem to be a slightly thinner metal, and they're shorter, so you don't get quite the reach out of them. Again, if you were to buy replacement parts for a Swiss tool, they wouldn't fit because the holes, or the pocket here is too short. Alright, next, the scissors. Now actually the scissors are surprisingly close. When I compare the size of the scissors, I mean, there's not much difference there. You can see here that the size is pretty much the same, although if you look here, the Swiss tools scissors are actually quite a bit thicker. And as for cutting quality, well, here's a straw wrapped in plastic, and this is the non-Swiss tool. This is the Chinese tool. I mean, it actually did cut that time, but I sort of have to wrench it to get any cutting out of it. I take the Swiss tool, put the scissors on, done. Cut. No problem, no squeezing. They are just precision surgical quality, maybe, if I'm not really a surgeon. Scissors. And they just snap in there so tightly. Surprisingly, actually, these fit relatively well into the slot. But they don't have that last little bit of snap that is in the other one. So. Okay, next tool, the flashlight. Funny thing was that the fake Swiss tool, the Chinese tool, actually had a brighter flashlight when I first got it. But I realized, but I switched the batteries between them, and now this one is the brighter one here. So there's a Swiss tool. They use similar LEDs, but I don't know exactly what the differences are. I haven't taken them apart or tried to read the labels on the LEDs, and I don't know that much about LEDs anyway, so I wouldn't be able to tell. If we take a piece of paper again, you'll notice that on the fake Swiss card, all the mechanism here is this blue clear plastic. That was another thing that I noticed that let me know that this might be a knockoff. When I take a look at the true Swiss tool, it's actually a heavier black plastic that is used, that I'm assuming has different properties. So that's just something to look for if you're trying to find out whether it's a real Swiss card or whether it is not. Now, last thing, the Chinese card actually has an extra tool. It has the toothpick. And one thing that I've found from searching on the internet, that one way to tell whether it's a legitimate Victorinox toothpick or not, is that the Chinese will use the same gray plastic that was used here. I know it looks ivory in the photo, but it's just a warm light, for the toothpick. So this is gray. I don't actually have a Victorinox toothpick, but a Victorinox toothpick is sort of an ivory color. Last thing, the Chinese tool, let me turn it this way, that way I can see it, yeah, is actually at least a credit card thicker than the than the Swiss tool. There is definitely a difference there, and you'll notice it in your wallet, I guess, because this card is probably going to stretch out a pocket anyway, so you will notice that. As far as the actual size, they're the same. And as far as width and height, it's just thickness that is different. Okay. Well, to those of you that are out there and you want to know whether you've got a real Swiss card or not, I hope I've given you enough information, because there are definitely differences. The first clue for me was when this thing fell out, but as I kept doing some research, I kept finding more and more things, but it was actually my wife that noticed that there was a toothpick in the Chinese one, and it didn't exist in the Swiss one. And you can see even the logo here. It's starting to fade off already, and this one's probably not going anywhere for quite a while. Just even the color. I mean, this is a very see-through plastic. This is actually, it's somewhat see-through, so you can see the tools, but not so much. Alright. Thank you for watching.